Hello everyone. Hi, welcome to Stuti Academy. Let's join. A few students are still joining. Hello everyone. Hi, welcome to Stuti Academy. Let them join. Hello, good evening, beta. Good evening, dear Hansika. Good evening. How are you, Hansika? I hope you are fine. I'm glad that you people have joined. So let's begin with the Stuti Academy. Welcome all to Stuti Academy. Stuti Academy is a name of success and it helps you in achieving your goal and to achieve whatever you want in your life. Sometimes you people feel science is very boring or few topics are very boring for you. Or sometimes you get stuck in those topics. So here I am Poonam Sharma, your science teacher, helps you to solve all of your queries and help to achieve your goal. As the name itself indicates of Stuti Academy, success is in every creation. So yes, we are here to achieve your goals, to clear your doubts, to explain the concept in detailed form. And I'll make sure that I'll make this science subject very interesting for you. Okay, so in this video, I'll explain matter in our surroundings chapter to you, which is class 9 chapter of chemistry, chapter number 1. As we all know, this universe is quite very vast and it has ample of things like air, water, plants, animals, food, etc. There are so many things we observe in our surrounding. And sometimes question arises in our mind, what are these made up of? How they come? How they exist in nature? The answer for this question is, these substances are made up of certain materials, certain substances. I hope my voice is clear now. Okay, Ritu, I'll just check my voice. Am I audible? think it's clear now. Please respond. Am I audible now? I'll just check the sound again. I'll just check it again. Again, some echo is there. Yes, Ritu, it's I think now it's clear. Okay. So I'll begin again. Hello everyone, welcome to Stuti Academy. As we all know that some students face problem in some topics. So here are the solution of all the problems. As our logo says, in every Stuti creation, a success is seen. So definitely, I am here to help you to solve all the problems and help to achieve your success, to achieve your goal. Now in today's video, I am going to explain matter in our surrounding chapter of class 9, which is chapter number 1 of chemistry. As we all know, the universe in which we live is very vast. It contains ample of things such as air, water, food, plants, animals, etc. N number of things we observe in our daily life. Sometimes question arises in our mind, what are these made up of? How do they exist in nature? So in this chapter, I am going to explain you what are these substances made up of. These all substances are made up of a certain substance and scientists gave that name matter to it. Yes, matter is responsible for making all the materials and substances in the nature. Now there are certain facts about matter. What are those facts? How these matters are made up of? These matters are itself made up of very tiny particles, and these tiny particles are called atoms. And about these atoms we'll study in detail in next chapter. Now what are the characteristics of these matter? If we study about matter, matter is that substance which has some mass and occupies some space. For instance, the chair on which you are sitting, air we breathe in, food which we eat, they all occupy some space. For example, when we fill balloon with the air, so that air occupies the space of that balloon. That is also a matter. So matter is a substance that occupies space and has some mass. So how can you define matter? Matter is that substance which occupies some space and has some mass. And these matters are made up of very tiny particles, and we call them atoms. And these particles which are present in matter, they do not follow any particular straight path. They are free birds. They move freely, and they are moved in a zigzag path. And this zigzag path, which is followed by these particles in a matter, are follow this path, and this kind of movement is known as Brownian movement. This is Brownian movement. So, Brownian movement is that kind of movement in which the particles are moving randomly. They are just moving here and there. They are not following any particular direction. So this kind of movement is known as Brownian movement. And matter occupies space. As I told you, when we fill air in a balloon, that air, that space of the balloon is occupied by the air. So air is a matter. So we can say that matter occupies space. Another example of this property is, take a beaker and put some water into it. When you pour some water, add some sugar into it. When you stir sugar into this water, then what will observe? You'll observe that that sugar completely dissolve in water. So where that sugar goes? It means that sugar takes the space of that liquid which is present. Some spaces are present in the liquid which is taken up by the sugar. So sugar is also a matter. And when these particles are following zigzag path or they are moving randomly, this kind of movement, as I told you, is known as Brownian movement. It's very important question asked in exam so many times, and it comes under 1 mark question. Apart from this, when these particles are moving in a matter, they have some sort of energy into them. And one more property of the particles which are present in matter is, when these particles are moving from one place to another place, they move by a process that is known as diffusion. So diffusion is a process in which particles are moving from higher to lower concentration. Thank you, Ritvik. Thank you, Kushal. So these are the properties of matter. And again I am repeating those properties, that matter are made up of tiny particles. They move in a zigzag path or they follow a zigzag path, and this kind of movement is known as Brownian movement. Matter occupies space and has a mass. And when the particles of matter are moving, they have some sort of energy. Now, what type of questions asked in exam on the basis of this topic? Like here, we have question number 1. Why is light not considered matter? Light, magnetism, vacuum, these do not fall under the category of matter because they do not occupy any space. So that's why we do not consider these substances like light, electromagnetism and sound as a matter. They do not fall under this category. Next question is, what is matter? In this question, you have to write definition of matter, which is anything that has mass and occupies some space. I hope this topic is clear to everyone. If you have any doubt in this topic, you can ask. Oh, thank you, Thank you, Pranali. matter is that thing that has mass and occupies space. Now, due to the arrangement of particles in a matter, matter exists in three main states, and these are solids, liquids, and gases. First of all, we talk about solid state, and the examples of solid state is ice, chair, table, sugar. These all are the examples of solid state. Now, the kind of arrangement of particles in solid is shown in this figure, which is in front of you. As you can see here, the particles are very close to each other. They are tightly bonded with each other like a best friends. They are very close to each other. They love to spend time together. So the arrangement of particles in solids is very strong, like a true friendship. I hope you all have true friends in your life. So these solid particles are more or less like your true friends or best friends. And due to the strong forces of attraction, due to the closely packed molecular arrangement of particles, they have strong forces. Suppose when your best friend is here, you feel very good about your friend. So you have a strong force, strong bond between you and your friend. Similarly, the particles in the solids behave like in the same manner. They are true friends of each other. They are very closely packed with each other. And due to this closely packed arrangement, they have very less spaces. As a result, it is very difficult to break the bond between those particles. That's why they have very high melting and boiling point. Due to this rigid structure, rigid here means hardness. Due to this hard structure of the solids, we cannot compress them, and solids cannot flow. So these are the properties of a solid state of matter. They have strong molecular force and they have very less intermolecular spaces. They have a definite shape and volume as well. They have high density, high melting point and high boiling point also. Solids cannot be compressed and they cannot flow. Here one word comes, density. Here density means mass upon volume. Density is represented by mass upon volume. More the mass, more will be the density. They both are directly proportional to each other. Now the second state comes liquids. Liquids are just like your intermediate friends, which you people are not fond of. So they have very weak intermolecular forces and they have large intermolecular spaces between them. The kind of arrangement in liquids are shown in this diagram. As you can see, particles are very far away from each other. It's not like that they don't like each other, but they want to spend some less time. Like you also have some friends, that sort of friends with whom you want to spend very less time. So liquids are like that only. And due to this large intermolecular spaces, they have very weak intermolecular force. When there is so much of gap between you and your friend, so you'll feel less connection between you and your friend. Same with the liquid particles as well. And these liquids, they do not have any definite shape, but they have definite volume. And they take the shape of the container in which we pour them. For example, when you pour water in a glass, it takes the shape of a glass. When you pour the same liquid in bowl, it takes the shape of that bowl. and the density of liquids are quite low. Melting and boiling point are also low. And the reason behind the less melting and boiling point is their weak intermolecular forces. Liquids sometimes can be compressed but sometimes cannot. And they can flow very easily. I think you all have, your mother scold you sometime when you pour some water on a table. So tell them it's a property of liquid. Liquid can flow easily. Yes, if you pour some liquid substance, so that can easily flow. But solids cannot. If on the same table you place any solid substance, such as if you keep your book on the table, it cannot fly, it cannot flow. It remains as it is. But liquids, if you pour them, they can easily flow. Then next is gases. Gases are the third main states of matter. They have very weak intermolecular forces. And the reason behind this is they have very large intermolecular spaces. As you can see in this diagram, the particles are very far away from each other. Like your enemies, you don't want to talk to them. So they are very far away from each other. And then, due to this, they do not have any definite shape. They also take the shape of the container in which they are present. And they do not have any volume, definite volume also. For example, if you fill air in a balloon, whatever shape of the balloon is there, gases also take that shape. So density of the gases are also quite very low. Gases are highly compressible. You can easily compress that balloon. And gases can flow easily. An example for this, gases can flow easily, is when your mother is preparing tasty food for you in a kitchen and you are sitting at the other corner of the room. You can easily smell the aroma of the tasty food your mother is preparing for you. And she always make, succulent food for you. So you really relish it. So how this aroma comes to you? Because these vapors are the gases. They can easily flow from higher to lower concentration. So they can easily reach to your nose and makes you feel very happy. Then you go and hug your mother. So gases can flow very easily. And gases are highly compressible also. So these are the properties of three main states of matter. And the process which is responsible for this flow is known as diffusion. One example of diffusion is, take a beaker and put some copper sulfate crystals into it. First fill that beaker with some water and then add some copper sulfate solution into it. After a certain span of a time, you'll observe that the color of the water entirely changes. It becomes blue. So this shows that some diffusion process is taking place. So they mingle up together. They combine together. So these are the properties of three main states of matter. And if you have any doubt in this topic, you can write in the chat box. I'll take your queries. Thank you, Rahul. Oh, thank you everyone for giving your wonderful comments. So what type of question can come in exam on the basis of this topic? Question number 1 is, what happens when an inflated air balloon is pricked with a pin? Name the property of the gaseous state exhibited by this observation. When you burst the balloon by pricking a pin into it, the process diffusion takes place because the gases which are present in the balloon starts oozing out, and the name of the process is diffusion. Apart from these three states, two more other states are there, that is plasma and Bose-Einstein condensate. That is Bose-Einstein condensate. That is, condensate. These two are the other states. Although main states are solid, liquids and gases, we have two more states apart from this. First is plasma. Plasma is a state in which the particles are super excited and highly energized and ionized. For example, the gases in the bulbs, in the tubes, in the LED bulbs, in the tubes. So these are the examples of plasma. And next is Bose-Einstein condensate. This Bose-Einstein condensate was discovered by after the name of the scientist Satyendra Bose and yes, now I think it's clear. Okay, some voice issue is again coming. Just let me check. Yes, so this Bose-Einstein condensate, the name given by after the discovery, and the scientists who were involved in their discovery was Satyendra Bose and Einstein. In this, the gases are cooled at a very low pressure, and then a name given to those kind of matter, the state of matter. So there are two states, plasma and Bose-Einstein condensate. So these are the three main states of matter. Now again, there are some more questions which are frequently asked in the exam on the basis of this topic. What is meant by Bose-Einstein condensate? As I told you, Satyendranath Bose and Einstein discovered it. So after that, this state of matter came into existence. Then in this state, as I told you, we cool the gases at a very low density, a very low temperature. Now the next question is, why are gases compressible but not liquids? Gases are highly compressible. Why? Because they have intermolecular spaces between them. That's the reason. Gases are highly compressible, whereas liquid doesn't. Now, if you have any query in this topic, you can ask. Yes. Yes, you can ask your query if you have. And one more important question can come in exam on the basis of this. Differentiate between three states of matter. So in this kind of question, you have to write down the differences between solid, liquid and gases on the basis of their properties. You can write on the basis of the arrangement of particles, that they have definite shape and volume, strong intermolecular force, high density and melting point and boiling point in solids, and solids cannot be compressed, solids cannot flow. In liquids, so you have to write down these points. They have weak intermolecular force, large intermolecular spaces, they do not have definite shape but definite volume, liquids cannot be compressed and liquids can flow. In gases, you can write they have very weak intermolecular forces, they are very large intermolecular spaces, they do not have any definite shape and volume, density is quite very low, and gases are highly compressible and gases can flow. Sometimes this question comes in 3 marks. So in this, you have to write down the difference between the solid, liquids and gases. I hope this topic is clear. Okay. Now we can say that matter which exists in different states, that is solid, liquid and gases, they are changeable. These states are interchangeable. One state can easily changes into another state. From solid to liquid, liquid to gases, or gases can easily converted into solids, or gases can changes into liquids as well. So there are certain factors which are responsible for this interconversion of states of matter. So if the temperature increases, the rate of interconversion of states also increases. And how this is possible? Suppose you take a beaker or any container, fill some water into it and put it on a gas. Then just place a lid over it. When it starts heating, you can observe that water starts boiling and then water starts converting into vapors form. When you remove the lid, you can easily observe those vapors which are coming out from the container. Another example, just take out the ice from the fridge and keep it at room temperature. Then there also you'll observe that after certain period of time that solid ice converts into liquid form. And if it remains untouched, it remains there and then only, you cannot see that liquid also. So where that liquid goes? Does some magic happen? No. This is the interconversion of states of matter due to the temperature which we provide to that particular substance, to that particular matter. I hope you like this session, and if you have any query regarding it, you can ask. I am waiting for your queries. Yes. I can see your chat. You can ask any query if you have. Thank you so much, Shri. Yes, definitely these questions will definitely help the student. Sometimes students will get stuck in this problem. What kind of questions can be asked in exam? They just mug up the content. They are busy just learning that particular topic, but they are not aware about the kind of the question asked in exam. So that's why I have included these questions. It solves your problem. Okay, thank you everyone. Thanks for joining me and giving your valuable time to me.